Kia whanau, up to part 2 of making waves. I'm going to quickly show you what to do with the crosstabs, and then we're going to go on to how to analyse the qualitative data. Okay, so the crosstabs you can find as well on Moodle. They're called crosstabs, and you'll find that I've only supplied you one, and that's gender. I could also supply you crosstabs for any of the demographics. When I said to you that crosstabs are what researchers love, it's because what we can do with crosstabs is then go and put people into boxes and look at what's happening within those boxes. So you should find that for everyone resilience has grown, but if you were to do an analysis through crosstabs, you might find it's only grown for one group. But we have to make sure we've got big groups, and with the ethnicity, sexuality, and when they were very problematic, the sexuality questions and answers given, and where you live, there were so many boxes that when you looked in, you could only have like 2 or 3 in each box. So, and I think one of the boxes would have maxed about 10. These boxes are too small to look in, and researchers would make really problematic assumptions about some of those boxes. So you've only got gender crosstabs to look at, and this is what you do with them. You click on those clicks to open one, it downloads, and when you've downloaded it, you open it. And if you're wanting to do editing, you should take it out of protective view and enable editing. And like all things in SurveyMonkey, they have merged cells, and so you have to unmerge them if you're going to do stuff. The first check we do is to make sure, because it's a gender crosstab, that our gender crosstab is working. So crosstab means males are going to be on one column, and then another question is going to be on the other. And this question, male versus male, we're expecting that there's no males that have ticked that they're females and males. So we want to know that it's only, you could only tick one option in that box, and we want to make sure that that's clean, and it is. So you've got a 0 and a 0 and a 23 and a 37. And then we can look down, and we're not going to really look across these demos, but we will just go straight down into the statements for the graphs. Now, I'm only looking at the pre, but what I am looking for, and it has to be proportionately, and if I'm really wanting to make you work really hard on this, I don't, because these are really small numbers. All you're wanting to see is the clustering, are the majority of the young people in both genders answering the same way. And if they seem to be, you don't have to do much adding, it's just observing in these crosstabs, because we are dealing with 23 men, our males, and 37 females. It's very small, smaller for the post tabs, the post test. So you just want to make sure that the clustering is looking the same. If it does, then when you're reporting on your overall table, you can say it appeared to be that there was not much difference between males and females across most of these items. I wouldn't go too much further into that. If there are differences, you could just say, well, look, there were some pretty massive differences on particular items within a contextual factor in the pre. I'm guessing that there possibly isn't, but you have a look for yourself and make that judgment. Okay, that's crosstabs. Okay, when it comes to the qualitative stuff, you find it in the same place. I am only going to look at the focus groups, okay, but you'll do the same thing for interviews if you've said interviews. So you download your transcript. So again, emphasis, you'd do the same thing if you were doing this for the interviews as well. Now basically what we're going to do is take this transcript and we're going to now analyze it the old-fashioned way. You can do this if you want using a computer, but you'll be needing to cut and paste in different ways. We are going to first read the transcript, print it out, single-sided, and read it in its entirety. Get a sense for it. Then get 2 bits of paper, and on one bit of paper put a plus sign, and on another bit of paper put a minus sign, positive and negative. And you can have a 3rd bit of paper, and I don't know, an in-betweener. It's up to you on that. A lot of people when they start out on this process do. Now what you want to do is you're going to literally cut up your interview. It is, it is your decision about whether you cut up, and you can on these things, the question with the response, or you bridge responses together because they are all saying the same thing. But you need to do some cutting. I have done quite a lot of pre-cutting. I'm doing a Julia Childs on this today. And as you're cutting, you're wanting to put them on your little bits of paper. So when you read a statement, you want to go, okay, is this positive? Is this negative? Is this neutral? Or has this got nothing to do with the interview at all? If it's got nothing to do with the interview, you can bin it. But you really should try to put everything on a piece of paper. Basically, this is a quick way of getting through the data really, really quickly. So I've cut it up, and I have found on my bits of paper that really the bulk of, I've got like a little tiny few quotes here about negativity aspects, things that weren't that positive, and I've got lots and lots and lots and lots of positive things. With all these positive things, I then have to go through and reread them and try to group them. So one of the participants has said that actually one thing that makes you unwell is not going to the doctor. Now I've done, and it is very subjective, and this is why triangulation is absolutely central to the whole process. I put that on the positive sheet because that was a definition that was given, and I'm going to put that into a little sub box of actually understanding what resilience is. It's positive when you actually understand what it is. So I've put it there. I've got another one, and it says, so the researcher says, another piece I've cut out, you weren't setting goals before. No. Has that changed? Yes, before I went to Waves, I didn't have goals. I had no direction. But when I was able to make Waves, I was able to connect with the youth workers. They helped me set some goals. I managed to meet these goals as well and find a resilient person within me. So I might put this down in goal setting, but I'm also going to get my old post-it notes out. Here they are, right here. And I'm also going to note that there is talking about youth workers as well. So there could be two things happening on that one. So it fits into two little boxes, and I might have it in cross boxes. And I'm going to keep doing this and putting them into boxes all the way through. These boxes are my themes. Okay, and then when I go to write the report, I'm going to talk about the boxes that had the most themes in. They had themes that came through not just in the resilience test that we did all that tabling to, but also in the observation and the description of the observation and in the boxes. And say for something, in this box I found that actually there might have been a lot to do with youth workers in Waves. And I might say one thing that Waves has done really well has been to connect youth workers to young people. And young people talked positively. This is my description about my quote. Young people talk positively around the role of youth workers within Waves. They talked about how youth workers got alongside them. I've got this quote here. Yeah, for most things it would be helpful, but shit, I'll probably take the shit out in the report, put ... but ... when I think about it, Waves did help. The youth worker did connect me back to home, so maybe it's doing good stuff, because like the other said, some things you do want your parents to know. I think you probably got it. We'll do a bit of this in the blocks, but yeah, put your quotes into boxes. Try to get the richest box out possible, and then describe those quotes accurately within your report. Heading near the 10-minute mark, over and out. That is Waves done.